Hey, welcome back to the podcast. This is Charles, and I want to say Happy New Year to ya. Happy New Year. We're on, January 2nd. Man, honestly, last year, I know everyone says this, but last year flew by, 2025. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great holiday, great Christmas, and a great New Year. And just thank you for coming back to the podcast. I appreciate it. Actually, I looked at my stats on this podcast, and I want to say thanks to people in Lithuania, Canada, Russia. I have some people who are apparently listening from these other countries, Canada, the UK. Actually, I'm gonna pull this up. This is kind of embarrassing, but can I pull this up right now? Yeah, let me do this. All right, let's see this. What did I say? Okay, thanks to folks in Canada, Belgium, Sweden, Norway, Spain, Lithuania, Australia, United Kingdom, and of course, United States. People are listening to this from all over the world. You know, it's funny. I was talking to my younger son recently, and my podcast came up, and he's like, "You have listeners from Lithuania?" I'm like, "Yeah. I mean, it says it right here. You know, look at my stats, bro." And he's like, "But you're just a guy with a phone. Like, who would want to listen to your podcast?" And I thought about it for a second. I'm like, I don't know, man. Look at the stats, bro. Look at the stats. What do you want from me, man? He's like, "Well, people normally like start podcasts, once they're famous." And I'm like, "Well, you got to start somewhere, pal." And yeah, anyways, so I'm back. It's been a while. I haven't posted an episode in a while. Recently, we decided to go to Vegas. We planned this trip to Vegas, and ignore that noise in the background. Yeah, so we go to Vegas after Christmas. What a great time! What a great place! You say, because I like gambling. I really don't. Actually, I didn't gamble one bit. I like casinos. I actually lived in Vegas for about 7 years, and Vegas is very different from what I remember it being, especially when I was a kid, because my parents would take us to Vegas on family trips. I grew up in California. We would go to Vegas. We would end up, in the arcades. Parents would give us a bunch of cash, and we loved it. They'd go gamble, and we'd, be in the arcades. Just enjoying the games, getting those tickets. How many tickets you got there? You need those tickets? What a scam. What a scam, by the way. You're just spending all this money to get something that really has no value only in that location, to get a gift. Actually, I'm going off on a tangent here. I remember one time I saved a bunch of tickets like 2 years in a row, like 2 trips in a row, and I bought this radio. The radio was probably worth like, I don't know, $12. But I'm sure it took me like $50 to earn enough tickets. But anyways, it's just totally different now, Vegas. So we get there. Back when I was younger, my parents would just park wherever they wanted. Oh, we're going to go to the Sahara. We're going to go to Circus. Okay, park. Now, almost every casino charges just for you to park there. We parked at, what casino? Oh, we went to Bellagio. Drive there, traffic is a little crazy around that time because this was right before the New Year's Eve. Get to Bellagio, $25 to park. We park, walk around, go into the casino. We check out the garden. They have that garden set up. I don't know what happened, but the garden was like, it seemed like it was like 50 to 60% smaller than what I remember it being. And so we walked around it and we're like, that's it? We're like, yeah, that's it. You know, just walking around the garden. And yeah, so we did that. And then next thing you know, it's like, okay, what are we going to go next? And we're like, you know, someone came up with a great idea. It was actually me. Let's go to that M&M museum. And we just start walking and walking and walking. And I'm just like, what are we doing? Like, what? You know, walking. Half the escalators are just broken down. It's like, no, you can't use this, you know, so we're going up and down stairs, and it felt like it took us forever just to get to that M&M museum. Then once we got there, like, it had this weird smell. It's like, what is that? Like some old chemicals or something. So it's not even a museum. It's just a store. 4 levels of M&M candy, you know. There was one little small, like 4-foot section of like, oh, here's the actual history of M&Ms. And yeah, so it's like, it's a store. Just come here and spend $8 on a candy bar. $20 for a candy, you know. And so we did that. So then we walk around more, and we're walking. We end up in the New York, walking around. All of a sudden, we're just walking around. And I'm like, where are we going? Where are we going? And I'm like, man. And yeah, man, it was kind of rough. I'm like, I think I'd rather be, you know, it's funny because my wife's like, you know, you should talk about how, you know, when we dated, how you were like, oh yeah, let's go for a run. You know, oh yeah, I like working out. And I'm like, you know, I was doing that stuff just because I wanted to spend time with you. Come on. Who are you kidding over here? You know, there's 2 different types of people, you know. There's a person who was like, oh, I need to go work out, you know, because I'm stressed. And then there's other person who's like, I'm going to McDonald's because I'm stressed. And I'm in the second camp. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the second camp there. And so anyways, the trip was pretty crazy. I actually had to work one of the days, that part wasn't that great because my family, they left me. I'm in the hotel just working on my computer, and they went to the Adventure Dome, the little dome next to Circus, and they had a lot of fun. They went on a ton of rides, so I'm glad they got to do that. But part of me was like, man, what am I doing working over here? And now I just feel like I'm just rambling my head off on this podcast. Or am I supposed to call this an episode? Doesn't matter. So what was I saying? Oh, so then one of the days my wife got free tickets to go on this Ferris wheel. There's this really tall Ferris wheel that's kind of a new thing in Vegas, and you get in the cart, and like they say 20 people could sit in there, and it goes up in a circle because it's a wheel, man, because it's a Ferris wheel, and it goes up really slow, and you get really high, and you get these really crazy views of the city, which was actually really cool. So that part was fun. Let me think. What else did we do? At one point, you know, we actually went. We were like, oh, let's go get some breakfast. I think it was our last day there. So we go to this place. My wife finds it. We go in. It's kind of looks like a little small spot. I didn't know what it was going to be like. A restaurant that we've never been to. We sit down, and they're like, oh, have you guys ever been here before? And I'm like, oh, here we go. And they're like, oh, yeah, so we're not like a normal restaurant. You know, I'm doing air quotes here. Because they're like, we don't really have servers or waiters. You have to go to the front, order your food at the cash register, and then come back and sit down, and we'll bring it out to you. And I'm like, as soon as they said we don't have no waiters, I'm like, no tip then. No tip. You know, what are we tipping for? What's the tip for? You know, so they We ordered our food. It's ready. They bring it out to us. And the food was actually pretty good. But one of my kids didn't get their food. And we're all waiting. I'm like, oh, so we're waiting, right? And I'm just like, I felt like I waited an hour, and they finally brought his food. And then I start eating. My older son finishes his French toast like in 10 seconds. And I'm like, that's my boy. And my younger son's like, hey man, was it good? And he's like, yeah. But yeah, so then, the food was good. We finished the food. They don't have waiters. So what are these people doing walking around the restaurant? They're like, oh, how you doing? You need any more water? I'm like, it feels like more people are walking around here than a normal restaurant, because you told me you don't have a waiter. And they're just like, would you like more water? And I'm like, yeah, let me get some more water. Is it filtered? Nah, I'm just kidding. And so we finish up. We already paid ahead of time because we paid at the register. And then my wife's like, hey, do you have any cash for a tip? And in my mind, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. They don't have waiters. But wait, they did bring the food to us, but they don't have waiters. But anyway, so of course I brought out some cash because I'm like a hot roller, baby. I'm like, of course I got some cash. So I dropped like $1 on the table. And I was like, what? What did they do? What did they do? Give us water? But anyways, don't advertise as a restaurant that's different. Don't advertise yourself as a restaurant. Oh, we're different here. We don't have waiters. Then what are these people doing? Oh, they're just bus boys. I don't know. I guess you can't say bus boys anymore. But anyways, I feel like I went a little bit too long on this. But the trip to Vegas was awesome, man. Totally awesome. I had a good New Year's. My wife's birthday was on New Year's Eve. We chilled once we got back. We were like, I don't know when it happened, but I realized I'm turning into like the older grumpy guy. It's like, there was one point when we were in Vegas, and I was like, oh, let's go get some food. And like, I was hungry, man. I was really hungry. But everywhere I looked, everywhere I turned, it was just more traffic, more and more traffic. And then I was like, you know what? Let's just forget it. Let's forget it. We can eat later. We turn around. I'm trying to make a U-turn. And in my mind, I just felt like, how hard would I have to punch the top of my car to actually go through to make a hole in my car? And because I felt like we're at the signal and I want to do a U-turn, but it's like the signal turns green and then it immediately goes red. And I almost thought for a second, like, I'm never going to be able to make a U-turn here. Anyways, but yeah, so here we are back in the groove, We're in the new year. I actually, there's a part of me, I've talked about this before. I don't like the hustle and bustle and the traffic and the this and the that and we gotta go here, we gotta go who, potluck. I rather just, my wife asked me, she brought out these questions, like these open-ended questions. She's like, oh, okay. We're driving back. She's like, what is your ideal vacation? I'm like, one where I don't have to do a lot of walking. Oh! Yeah, so that's what's up. So I don't know if you can hear the police talking outside my car or if you like this episode, but if you did, please hit the follow button, and please, if you don't mind, if you actually made it to the end of this, please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Hope you're doing well. Hope you have a great new year. I want to put out more episodes, and I'm looking forward to putting out more in this year. So thank you very much, and I'm out of here.